Before we look ahead to the second half, let's go back to the first. We had a whole lot of scoring in the first quarter. In fact, 4 of the 5 touchdowns came in that first period. And it was the Air Force with a good-looking first drive. 5 plays, 79 yards, capped by DJ Johnson.
Sure does. He busts up the middle. It's the first time the fullback touched the play in that drive. And it's crucial because it goes for a big score to set the tempo. Utah State comes back, though. Myers to Hunter, sharp on the deep bomb on the sideline, goes up and gets the ball, ties the score up. But Air Force would not be denied second time around. Jacoby Owens gets in on the edge to go up 14-7. But Utah State wants to get back in it. Sharp again, beating the receiver from Myers. Slight push-off possibly, but the officials say it's good. The touchdown is good. Game is all tied up, 14-14. But there he is, the quarterback, Carson Roberts, using his legs to get in the corner end zone before the half to go up 21-14.
All right, you talked already, Jay, about the 212-12 advantage for the Air Force, which is significant. Utah State does have 197 in the air compared to 97 from Air Force. The time of possession should not surprise us. The Air Force has controlled the football as many had expected.
Well, and the thing about it is that time of possession really comes into play in that fourth quarter. If this defense been out there a whole lot of time not stopping them, you're going to see the legs get wore out.
Falcons get the football when we restart the game in quarter number 3. Falcon football when we start the second half. In the altitude, this is where Air Force is significantly better than everybody else. And when leading at halftime, the Falcons are 6-0. And they are perfect at home over the last couple of seasons. So the numbers line up very well, and I would think if you're Utah State, if you could make a stop here to start the second half, that will negate the fact that the Falcons had the ball toward the end of the first half and also to start here in the second. It's Tyler Williams deep, number 12. And Utah State set to kick off with 36, Jake Thompson. And away we go. 70 yards on the fly. So as we look ahead to the second half, let's talk Falcon offense. Obviously running the football was very effective in the first half, and when they needed to throw the ball, and it wasn't very often, Roberts 5 of 6, all completions resulting in first downs. And of course, he was not sacked.
And I think they stick to the game plan. They mentioned in the beginning, they only throw 10 to 12, maybe 13 times a game, and they make you pay when they do. Stick to the running game, keep the fullback involved. I think this is where you bring in those other layers, those levels of plays that you haven't done yet, see how the defense responds to it.
All 3 running backs for Air Force here in this game have rushed for more than 40 yards. And Utah State gang tackling at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And that's what this defense is going to have to do. You have to win on first down, and what that means is negative to no gain. Put them in 2nd and 10. If you put them in 2nd and 10 plus, now you as a defense can start to dictate more what they need to do.
We saw Jordan Nielsen 97 moments ago for Utah State, now with 42 tackles for the year. 2nd and 10, Roberts to keep. Nowhere to pitch, and they gobble him up after a gain of just 1 yard, and that's Nick Vigil, who earlier was assessed with a penalty, but there prevents Roberts from doing anything special with the option.
These linebackers will not miss many tackles.
No.
In space or anywhere. So that was one of those plays that Vigil had him tracked. You can see why he had 98 tackles going into this game. He's been one of the lead tacklers in the nation, and this kid has a nose for the ball.
Rare formation for Carson Roberts on 3rd down from the shotgun. 4 receivers set. Looks to throw in a 3-step drop. Contact. Penalty flag. This is going to go for an Air Force touchdown. It's Robinette. 74 yards.
I believe that's going to be a touchdown. It looked like defensive pass interference.
Yep.
And
pass interference. Defense. Number 17. The penalty is declined. Result of the play. Touchdown.
Air Force with an aerial attack here. Excuse me, Jay.
They are. Deshaun Haynes, 5'10" versus 6'4". He gets beat, looks back, he gets called because he's holding on to the receiver. But you're seeing what size does for you. Let me throw a name out for you. Calvin Johnson, Demarius Thomas. These guys played at Georgia Tech under the wishbone. Big receivers on the outside. So when you bring your defenders up, trying to stop the run, you throw it to the big guy on the outside. That's what Air Force has been doing, starting in the middle of that second quarter with the catches he had, and they proceed to start the beginning of the third quarter doing that, gets them a touchdown.
And for the Falcons, now a 2-touchdown lead for the first time in this game as they score just a minute and 16 seconds into the third quarter. Jalen Robinette, junior out of Bexley, Ohio, with a touchdown reception, his third of the year. We're going to look at the stats in the newspaper or on ESPN tomorrow, see the numbers from Carson Roberts, which right now are 6 for 7 for 171, and say, hey, is this the new Air Force? What's going on here?
Well, that's what we talked about in the open. It's when you look at his stats, as a quarterback, Roberts has 410 rushing yards to start the game, 694 yards passing, but they've been chunk plays just like that. And when we talked to Coach Calhoun and I asked, I said, look, how tough is it for the quarterback when you're running all these options, just to drop back and throw? He said it's very difficult, but if any kid can get it done, this guy does.
3 plays, 75-yard scoring drive. A happy Robinette on the sidelines as Air Force tries to win for the 7th time this year and for the 5th time in the Mountain Division. Aggies will start this drive where they typically have started a drive from their own 25-yard line. Now, no time for Utah State to panic. Kent Myers realizes that. They have all of the fourth quarter and almost all of the third remaining. His numbers today, 14 of 24, but he has 1 for his last 7 and a pick into the end zone. So what's happening Air Force defensive-wise? It's changed.
Well, I think there's 2 things. One, they've switched up their pressure they're bringing with the way they wanted a 3-4, so the O-line does not have a good job of stopping that, but more importantly in the secondary, the safeties are dropping more back, helping these corners on those deep routes, especially the sharp. Looks like they may go zone.
We'll run the zone read to the 28. Devontae Mays, who came in averaging over 6 yards a carry with 7 touchdowns. They need to get him off and Hunt as well, I think, to have a chance today.
They do, and if I'm Utah State, they have run no-huddle tempo. My opinion, you need to get to that. If you're an offense that's been struggling a little bit, sometimes picking up the pace gets things going.
Air Force rushing 4, dropping 7. 3rd down coming up and 7.
See, in this situation, I would have ran the ball in that play. You got you 3. I'd run to try to get you 3 more. Put yourself in third manageable. 5 or less. If you put yourself in that, it kind of will help you to continue a drive going. When you're this farther back, it isn't that this offense can't convert it, but it's much tougher when you start to go 6+ on 3rd down.
Crowd gets revved up here. Aggies got to get the football to the 35. Myers has time. It collapses. So does he. Kent Myers is sacked.
Kent Myers had a tough time. You can see right there, DJ Dunn Jr. again getting back there, creating havoc. He wanted to do a bunch route up top. The DBs did a good job of jamming him, and because of that, there was nowhere else for him to go. You see the pocket. The defense has done a good job of keeping him in it, not giving him lanes to run outside where his strength could be used with his legs.
And now they're going to have to call upon Aaron Dalton, who's averaging 51 yards a punt in this game, to try to flip the field and at least put them defensively in a good spot. Now trailing by 2 touchdowns are the Aggies. Not nearly as deep as the other ones. And the ball will roll out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Control this game now in the hands of Air Force, which recorded a sack moments ago and is getting the ball back. We're back. Jim Barber, Jay Taylor, the Cadets in the sunshine and the warm weather. Today temperatures near 60 degrees. Air Force and Troy Calhoun. This is his alma mater. asking Troy about why somebody would come here as you're looking at the Utah State sidelines. And he said, you know, I tell people now the honest truth. You're going to get your head shaved. You're going to get people hollering at you. You're going to go through sleep deprivation. And if you can handle all that, you know, we got a spot for you. Roberts keeping the football and drop for a loss on first down.
And I like the part, like some of the players are, if you're good enough to go to NFL, you're going to have to wait at least 2 years before you can actually do that.
Yeah. But nonetheless, you know, he's coaching his alma mater, and he stays out of the head of his quarterback. He allows his coordinator to take care of that. On second down, Roberts got a man, Robinette, who's already well over 100 yards with a catch close to the 40-yard line of Utah State. And this offense looks like Baylor instead of Air Force here with the air attack suddenly.
They did. Pistol formation, throws the defense off because he's in shotgun with the slot over here, and just got your big receiver going downfield. Now they're going fast pace to catch you off guard.
Robinette now 4 catches for 141, running the sweep wide left on first down. And the control of this game right now very much in the hands of Air Force as Williams carries the ball on first down. They look sharp on offense today, Jay.
And this is what lulls you to sleep as a DB. When they don't throw the ball that frequently, you're trying to stick your nose up there to help the rest of the team stop that running game, and then you forget your assignment. And that's what this offense is all about, getting you in places that you're not comfortable.
Look at this, a 4-receiver set, 3 by 1, with 3 on the near side.
And this is the next level of formations. This is what they talked about, is what they're able to do unconventionally because of his time in the NFL and these different things. He's switched his offense around. So it isn't your traditional triple option veer that you would see Army and Navy do. They do a lot of these variations to kind of get the defense spread out, off kilter, but still do their basic just from a different formation.
We'll come back to Air Force and its decision on second down with 10:52 remaining in the third quarter, and right now on the move, trying to make this a 3-touchdown difference.
Larry?
Jesse?
So, you got any big New Year's Eve plans?
Not at all. I'm just going to be sitting at home alone watching the college football playoff all by myself. Just me and the TV, you know.
Oh, hey, Larry. Thanks for the invite. Playoff party at your place.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Party?
Well, yeah, it's less of a party, more of a small get-together.
Hey, Larry. See you at the party.
And John. He's coming.
Wow.
I know. You ever tasted his bean dip, man? Out of this world.
Let's go. Knock him up here. Let's go.
Hi, would you sign my petition?
Miss, can you sign my petition?
It says, I, Larry Culpepper.
To present the national championship trophy.
The winner of the college football playoff.
I invented the playoff. I should be able to hand out the trophy.
That's my job. Who are you?
Almost got John Saunders to sign it. If I give you a Dr. Pepper, will you sign my petition?
No.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you.
Then give me 6. Don't spill on it. I can't read that. You're going to have to do it again.
Let's go. Knock him up here. Let's go. Knock him up here.
Welcome back. Falcons have the Aggies on their heels right now.
They surely do. And you think about preparation. A lot of people don't understand how hard it is to get ready for this type of offense as a defense. You see spreads, you see all these different things, and then you have to come to a team that throws the ball anywhere from 10 to 14 times a game. It's really a different mindset, and guys have to be disciplined in their responsibilities because you will just get gashed if you don't. And this defense has been very good, but this offense has found a way to make it work, especially at home. They play so much better at home than they have on the road.
Trying to make it 12 consecutive wins at home. Roberts really feeling the game, throwing the ball, and that's an incompleted pass. That's only his second of the game. He has thrown for 197 yards. That is identical, Jay, to what Kent Myers has thrown for. And who would have thought that?
You wouldn't have thought it at all. And they've dropped back a little bit more than normal. But that being said, the big explosive plays on both sides. Coach Calhoun said we have to not give up big explosive plays, but they've gotten a few on their own.
Need to pick up 6 to continue to drive. Back to the option. Roberts keeping the football, gets swallowed up for a loss.
And guess who?
Yeah, who else?
Vigil. This kid is just all over the field. You know, Utah State has become the mini linebacker U. They got a lot of plies. You're looking at Vigil right there, who's only a junior. You got Fackrell, that's a senior. And then even Torrey Green, which you haven't said his name much, he's 6'2", 235. I mean, they got guys that can just move around the field. But today, they've been somewhat negated.
Little pooch punt coming up here to try to pin the Aggies back. And they'll start this drive at their 13 on the fair catch by Rodriguez. After a 14-14 tie in the first quarter, Air Force has pitched a shutout since. Plenty at stake in this football game as Air Force leads 28-14. Utah State lost a tight one to New Mexico last week, 14-13, to drop them from the first place spot. And as a result, Aggies in a desperate spot to win today, while Air Force can take a half-game lead over Boise State that will host New Mexico later tonight.
Look for man-to-man coverage on top of your screen.
From the 14-yard line, Myers pitching to the sidelines. To Sharp, ball caught, first down. They're going to look for Hunter Sharp early and often. He was targeted 13 times by his quarterback. They got 12 in the first half, and they have started off with him here in the third quarter.
Sure did. Took advantage of that man-to-man coverage, hit the slot on a corner slash out route. He kind of rounded that around. Get this drive going. I like the pace. They got to pick it up.
Hunter now 8 catches for 129 and 2 scores. From the 31, Myers looking left, throwing right. Ball broken up. Back defending, Roland Ladapo. He's the boundary corner and considered to be the team's best cornerback.
Yeah, what you're seeing right now, Utah State is switching a little bit, trying to go to quicker throws, getting the ball out quicker since pressure has been getting to them, trying to get their playmakers opportunity to make some moves in space.
Myers one time at this juncture of the game was 10 for 12. Since then, he's 5 of 15. They'll have a 3rd and short coming up here. Actually, more like a 3rd and 6.
Good team group tackling there. Guys coming up. You see Washington there reading what they're trying to do, using that slot receiver coming out to the flat, so the corner drops there, drops his outside receiver, comes up to make the tackle. This is a big 3rd down play. Look for the play up top. You can see you got him in a bracket situation. See if somebody's going to try to come across the middle of the field.
Here's Hunter Sharp on the near side, number 4. He's the dangerous receiver. He's cutting across midfield, trying to make a circus catch. And even if he did, he's short of the first down marker. And it appears the ball was broken up, so the Aggies have to give the ball up. They put Sharp on a rod across the middle of the field, and they had him in their radar.
Sure did. Took advantage of it. You know who hit him? Weston Steele Hammer. Laid the hammer and knocked that ball out. That's what they, perfect play call. You got the man. You try to run away from middle field, but the safety comes down and makes a good tackle. Going for it on 4th down. No, punt.
Aaron Dalton's 6th punt of the game. Another dandy. This one to be fielded at the 10. Let's take a break. Air Force with a 2-touchdown lead and the ball back. 8:20 remains in the third quarter. Plenty at stake in this football game today in the Mountain West, specifically the Mountain Division. Air Force coming in with identical records with Boise State, which hosts New Mexico later tonight. Aggies in the 3rd position, New Mexico in the 4th. And oh, by the way, Air Force faces Boise State Friday night on ESPN2 in Bronco Country, where they have lost 3 times over the last 10 years in 79 games.
Tough road, but as a player, you wouldn't want anything less. You want to be the best, you got to go beat the best.
Yeah, and if Air Force holds up with this game today and wins, that game Friday night is going to be a monster. Mountain West does it a little bit different than most conferences, and you like the arrangement. in the fact that the two teams that win their divisions, and right now San Diego State is cruising in the other division, whoever has the higher CFP ranking will be the home team for the Mountain West Championship.
I think that's a good way of doing it. You're rewarded for your hard work, and I think that's what it should be.
So potentially Air Force may not be playing its last home game of the year, although this is the last regular season game as it is senior day. Option Roberts, pitch left side. Tyler Williams, who has had a number of carries today. That's his 6th right now for close to 60 yards.
You can see right there, Fackrell's in there forcing it. They forced the play backwards, but because it was so bunched up there, look at the speed of Williams as he gets this. He just turns it up, gets upfield for positive yards. That's what you need for a 3rd and short, especially when you get a negative play on 1st down.
Falcons were moving around for the moment. Now everybody is set. So's the defense. Need to pick up 4. And they're going to be short by a yard. E.J. Johnson on fullback dive, and so now the Falcons have to get rid of the ball. And the Aggies offense set to come back out. So good defensive stand by Utah State at a much-needed time.
They have, and I'm kind of shocked with Air Force right now in their play calling. Not doing as much as they did within the first half. But partially, I think that you got to speak about the Utah State defense. They're starting to figure some of this stuff out and getting the key stops where they need it.
Steve Rosie, his 4th punt of the game. Here comes pressure. He gets rid of it. Rodriguez, fair catch. Very close to midfield. So great field position and the best starting point for Utah State in this game up at the 47-yard line. But for the Aggies, it's now time to do something on offense, and they have not scored since the first quarter.
They haven't. If I'm them, I'd come out running the ball. You got to get that going. You got to establish that.
You know what? I think you've said that before.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to do it. When you look at the stats right here, here's a perfect example of it. You know, you only had 24 in the first half, -1 so far this half. You've always been a two-dimensional team. You've had a great running game that helped your passing game. You take one of them away, it's going to be hard to get a victory.
Yeah, to go along with those numbers, coming into the game, Utah State averaging 170 on the ground and 191 with a pass. It's very balanced. Fell in love with the pass because it was very effective with 2 touchdown throws in the first quarter. But that turns out, I think, to be fool's gold.
It really is fool's gold because I know the passing has become king for a lot of things in college and pro. But at the end of the day, to win games, your bread and butter, running the ball, stopping the run. So that's what you have to be able to do. And if you can't do that, look at Alabama. That's how they stay in it all the time.
Yep. They'll run the football on 2nd down, bringing them down to a 3rd and 6. Devontae Mays carrying the carry. He's a good power runner for this team. Very physical back who can run through defenders. He just has not had many opportunities. And on 3rd down, Utah State is just 4 of 11. So what might we see here?
Well, if I'm Utah State, you've only had one screen pass that was effective. It was a running back screen, opposite direction you wanted to do. I think you have to go back to your screen game or come down there to the bottom. You flooded the zones, get somebody in the flat, maybe a corner route, see if they can get open.
4 receivers set for Myers. Ball tipped up in the air and caught. Air Force deflected it. Sharp got the catch. 1st down, Utah State. That was large.
Right, look at DJ Dunn Jr. He's right in position, reads it, jumps it, gets the hands up, goes through them. Receiver does a good job coming down with the ball.
And a 1st down for the Aggies at the 39 to continue the drive.
Catch for a 1st down. Plays under review.
We'll go up to the booth to confirm that that was a catch by Sharp.
And I was wondering about that as we were looking at the replay because does he get possession before he goes out of bounds? I think that's what they have to look at. College, you need 1 foot, not 2. But you still have to have that possession. You see the ball's tipped in the air, hands on it. Is it bobbling? That's hard to say. That's hard to say. He puts it away, but at what point is that foot down as he puts it away?
Well, think of the term IVE, irreversible video evidence.
Yep.
That must be what takes place here in order for them to overrule the call and say that's an incompleted pass. I would say this is a big ruling here.
And from our view on this one, it's inconclusive. It's hard to really tell when he does it, so I would think it
After
stays.
reviewing the play, ruling on the field stands. First down.
This is the only football game in the Mountain West Conference going on as we speak. Started at 12 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock in the East Coast. Started off with a bang, with each team trading touchdowns in the first quarter and playing to a 14-14 tie. The Aggies haven't mounted much on offense since until this drive here in the third with under 5 to go.
Well, it started with the defense, started with a great punt, forcing the offense to 3 and out, and then getting the ball on the 50. Now they have less field to try to cover, puts them in a good situation.
Myers to Sharp. Sharp's got a beat to the end zone. He will score. Touchdown, Utah State. 39 yards, his third touchdown reception of the game.
You're going to see a simple receiver screen to your left. DB gets blocked right there. Great job by the receiver cutting him. And when he does that, there's nobody else there. The offense caught the defense in the right situation where they didn't have enough bodies over there. And because so you see the bad angle taken by Hayes Lynn, the safety, that allows Sharp to walk into the end zone.
Got behind 21 Jesse Washington as well. Now the extra point by Brock Warren for the Aggies. That brings them within 7. And Sharp's numbers on the day today, ridiculous. 11 for 180 and 3 scores. More importantly, the Aggies are back in business.
Now, this is interesting. This is a Sharp and Robinette kind of game.
It is.
Both receivers are making the defense pay if they don't cover them correctly. But Sharp just did a great job when he got the ball. He wasted no time getting upfield. All other times that they ran that formation, the Air Force defense had 3 guys over there, the safety over the top and 2 corners. In that situation, they didn't have enough bodies over there. And because of that, Utah State snapped quickly, got the ball out, made them pay.
Good call by the coordinator, Josh Heupel, and the head coach, Matt Wells, to recognize the advantage that Myers had on that pass to the inside, and then Hunter Sharp did the rest.
Yep, and they've been, where they've had success has all been outside. If you think about Utah State, all their scores, the deep balls outside the numbers. So they went back to that. Wasn't necessarily a deep ball, a short ball, but that's the first time I can say this Air Force defense didn't come up and make a great tackle in open field. And that's one reason I think Utah State hasn't been able to get on track, is because even when they've made catches, they haven't been able, their playmakers haven't been able to shake it free for big games.
Here's Tyler Williams, who will take a knee, and the football will come out to the 25. So the game now has changed 180 from a 14-point lead and Air Force ball to a 7-point lead. Possession back at the 25, and let's address the Falcons on offense, and do we see any changes of any radical nature?
No, I think if I'm them, I go back to some of the plays that worked in the first half and start doing some of the wrinkles, but I would also up my tempo a little bit. I would definitely try to go the no huddle, force this Utah State defense to make an error and see if you can get a big game. But my first play right now, I'd be faking to fullback and maybe keep it as a quarterback.
Carson Roberts over center, the quarterback. Little play action, and that football never got to the receiver. It'll be 2nd and 10 intended for Brian Driscoll.
Well, the main reason that was not catchable is because Kyler Fackrell was right there. So 6'5", long arms, tough throw.
Air Force has been reduced to 12 yards rushing with 100 in the air, which keyed that last scoring drive. Now they're starting to rely on the pass a little bit more, so do they need to get back to the ground?
They have to get back to the ground, and I was just going to make that point. That's the issue right now. They've been throwing more than they've run normally. Here's another pass play.
Down the middle of the field, nearly picked off into 2 defenders. Dangerous throw by Carson Roberts, and Davis was back there licking his chops as Jalen had a chance for a pick.
Yep, and you can see he actually had a receiver open to the right on the flats. He doesn't go to him. He goes to the other side. It's always dangerous when you come across the middle of the field throwing the ball because you don't know what's coming from that backside. And being in this type of offense, he's not dropping back, reading from left to right all the time. You usually have 1 or 2 spots that the ball is going. That's pre-designed in his head. That's going to have to change because now they put themselves forcing the 3 and out.
Roberts has missed on his last 3. Needs to hit one here. He's got man coverage. Robinette up for the football. Did he get it? Yes! Jalen Robinette. Terrific catch. Gets Air Force out of trouble. And like Hunter Sharp is having for Utah State, he's having a career-like day today for Air Force.
Throw it to your big playmaker. Give him a chance to go up for the ball. You can see again the defender, Jalen Davis, gets beat, gets behind, looking in the backfield. Not supposed to do this as a defensive back. But when you're going against a 6'4 receiver, you got to be ready for it.
That play, Jay good for 31 yards. Now back to the ground. And the passing game starting to open up the running attack with a pickup of 11 and a first down. Jacoby Owens, who has a rushing touchdown in the game. And here come the Falcons.
And I like the pace. Good play call. You put Jacoby Owens at that fullback position. Good size, but more speed.
Well, by the way, receiver Robinette now, 5 catches for 172. This is a kid that caught 42 balls for 800 yards last year.
And that's that mode. That's the Marius Thomas. That's that Calvin Johnson when they're at Georgia Tech. Because you got to come up there and honor that run so much, you got a big, tall, lanky receiver. He's out there all alone with the DB. He's going to win those battles 9 times out of 10.
They're winning it a lot today. 2nd and 8. Pitch running near side. Falcons back to the game that they love the most. Ryan Driscoll at 5'8", 190 hails out of McKinney, Texas. And when you ask coordinators about him, they say he's just nifty on the edge. If he can get there, watch out.
And quick, goes forward. That's what I like about all their running backs. You watch when they get hit, and they're falling forward, not backwards.
Well, they're tough guys. They should do that, right?
Oh, yeah, got to. Marcus Allen was king of it. Always falling forward.
Yep. 3rd and short. And the Falcons have enough for the first down. And who are you going to call in a position like that? Of course, your fullback, DJ Johnson.
Sure is. And this is, you think about Air Force struggled after getting that early score, throwing around a little bit. Got themselves a situation where they weren't able to convert, had to punt the ball, gave the Utah State a short field. Utah State made them pay. And look what the offense came back doing. They're back in sync with what they're doing, taking the momentum out.
Which allows Roberts to take a shot, which he does. And on the stretch, football down to the 3-yard line. Jalen Robinette now with 6 catches for 191. That's 19 on that play.
Gets the motion going one way, beats the receiver because he does a little post corner route all alone. Good completion. We ain't even talking about Griffin a lot lately either.
Air Force doing a nice job, Jay, of answering Utah State's touchdown, which made this a 7-point game and almost had the Falcons back on their heels, and this is not a good sign as DJ Johnson, their all-world fullback, is down.
He's grabbing his hamstring. They've been dealing with injuries. He wasn't actually the starter. The starter was Aubrey Duty Tyson, but he also got hurt, and he's been kind of out of it. That's one reason why they moved Jacoby Owens to the fullback position from time to time, because he has a little bit more size and he can run up the middle. But this would be a serious blow for them right now because he's playing well. The next person that would come in if Aubrey cannot would be Shane Davern.
Early in the game, we saw Lawan Hunt go out of the game, the running back for the Aggies, limping to the sidelines. And now this, it's been the only significant injury-like situations. We'll try to speculate on what the problem is. We just hope he's okay.
Yeah, you can't tell if it's a cramp or it's the way he got hit. Kind of not really bending the leg much, and a lot of people think it's cold. How do you get cramps? Well, you can get cramps in cold just like hot. It's all about hydration, and if you're not hydrated enough, those types of things can happen. So I'll be curious to see if that's what it is.
And you'll see those type of injuries, if you want to call them injuries, early in the season when it is warmer weather. Kids coming out of camp, and DJ's still in a lot of discomfort.
He's a tough kid. I mean, all these kids are, we're told a little bit of what they have to do during boot camp and what they have to endure. Trust me, football is easy for them.
Yeah, it's a release, I'm sure.
But you got to think about it. You got a 6'4" receiver that's been doing damage. You got Garrett Griffin, your 6'4" tight end. Only has a couple catches. And it really makes this team difficult to match up against when you get behind the 8 ball on it.
Jacoby Owens, the running back, headed to the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons.
Great play call. You get down there. You're motivated by your fullback being hurt going out. You would like to get a score in them. And Jacoby Evans, same play he scored on earlier on the right side of the line. This is just more of a traditional handoff. Hat on a hat. Right now, this undersized Air Force front is really controlling the line of scrimmage. And when you look at these guys, the biggest guy they have is about 280 pounds, and he won't stay at 280. He's going to have to slim down because some of these guys have to fit into a plane.
Head coach Troy Calhoun was talking about how they were overmatched on the line of scrimmage, and they could not go run for one on every play. They would have to mix up their play calling, which they have done very effectively under the direction of Carson Roberts. Of course, we also were in listening to some of his conversations about Utah State and the potential being overmatched, which really the last 2 years they had been. I think we also recognize that coaches have a tendency to pour mouth.
Oh yeah.
Prior to a game.
Exactly, because he wants his kids to do well, but he's like, we got to watch out what happens. They're bigger than us, and we kind of get shocked when we come out. And these kids, to their credit, they understood the level of it. This is a situation they have not been in. And so I think they've accepted that challenge, and what we've seen on the field is a bunch of young kids saying, wait a minute, we control our own destiny, we got to win at home, take care of business, and then worry about next week, and just continue to do that. Before you know it, we might be playing a championship game at home.
It's a very solid point, and Friday night now starts to become even bigger if Air Force can hang on to this lead with $1:28 remaining in the third and all of the fourth. That was a 10-play, 75-yard drive. The pass to Robinette on 3rd and 10, good for 31, was huge.
And you got to think about this. The defense did a good job the series before when the offense came out and scored. Then they came out this series and hadn't responded. Now, in that first quarter, they both were putting together 75, 80-yard drives. Second quarter, not so much for Utah State. Outside of being on that 50, they haven't been able to move the ball in this second half. So the offense really needs to make sure they respond this time. If not 7, at least get 3.
Running by 2 scores, a lot of football left to be played. And a good positive gain on first down for one of the few times on the ground. In fact, this one is up close to the sticks on a second effort. Carry of 9 by Devontae Mays.
A lot of meat on them bones. 5'11", 220. And you can see arm tackling is not going to work. He will run through it. You can grab his jersey. He'll let it rip off.
One of 10 kids from his family. Gets the football again, carries for the first down into that second line of defense. So 2 running plays have taken this football from the 25-yard line, now up to the 46.
And that's been this team's bread and butter. And so now you finally get to it. You're getting some seams there. Must take advantage of it.
Back to Mays again, and again another positive gain on first down. And a pickup of 5 as we wind down the third quarter.
And I like they finally are picking up the pace. This is Utah State's strength. When they go at a little quicker clip than just kind of sitting around waiting. They never really huddle, but they go a little quicker. When they do, they make more positive plays. Watch man-to-man coverage up top.
Good running attack and set up sharp as this is another carry for first down. Mays again carrying the football. Hunt was injured earlier in the game. Down to 18 seconds and counting in the third.
I'd get another play off if I could if I'm Utah State. Keep this momentum going because when the clock stops, that's when the issue's going to run in till the defense getting a chance to catch their breath.
Mays out of the game with just a few seconds left. Play action. Myers shooting one down the field. Has a receiver. Ball caught. Touchdown. Devontae Robinson, 44 yards.
Catching Utah State man-to-man coverage again, is so much they like to do with no safety help. You're seeing Devontae Robinson outrun the DB, gets that space, and you can see right there that Jesse Washington gets behind him and gets that touchdown. Jesse Washington never had a chance. When you're man-to-man, there's one thing you're taught: don't give up the bomb. You give up everything underneath, not the bomb.
Just his second touchdown reception of the year, but it's a huge one. Now Brock Warren for the extra point to pull the Aggies back within 7. The third quarter of this football game is history. Setting up for an exciting and dramatic fourth. After 3 at the Air Force Academy, it is 35-28. In first place, at the very least for the Falcons, is at stake.